Good morning, Jerry. How are you?
Hey, man. Good morning, and good to be on with you.
Thank you for joining us, as always. Myself, us, and I think a lot of Cowboy fans need a little pick-me-up, Jerry, with this injury news with CeeDee Lamb and Tyler Booker and these high ankle sprains. Your reaction to how long you think they'll be out and the effect on your football team?
Well, first of all, it's quite a challenge, especially in light of the fact in the offensive line. We'll start there. We don't have BB that was is our starting center. Although we played pretty well there the other day, if you can play well in that kind of loss. But still, that brings us to a couple of key injuries there in that offensive line. And the good news is that we've got guys like Guyton and guys like Steele that are playing better. And so, and we do have depth there in the offensive line. We had more depth. We lost that in training camp. And so, as usually happens, you have these challenges within a position. I don't know how that manages to work, but when you get one injury, sometimes at, let's say, corners or offensive line, it seems like they come in a rash. But we'll get those guys back pretty quick. As high ankles go, initially here, they aren't on the extreme end, which means returning quicker. But as to when they return, it really depends upon the player and his tolerance for some early initial pain as he's rehabbing from his injury, so that he can get started out there sooner and have more, let's say, some more emphasized or a more active rehab. So those are going to be quite a challenge for us. And obviously the one you didn't mention, Lamb, is quite a challenge, especially playing this Green Bay team, an outstanding Green Bay team. So Lamb's going to present quite a challenge for us, and going to have guys like Pickens and those guys step up for us.
Jerry, does CeeDee's absence force you guys to kind of temporarily change the design of the offense?
Well, anytime you don't have CeeDee out there for our offense, and you're going to have some adjustments. But the good news is that we have serious flexibility in our offense to move the ball. I couldn't be more pleased with how we're blocking it up and how we're executing our running game. Mm-hmm. And make no mistake about it, Green Bay will be out to make a stop in that running game, and we're going to have to really be on our best game, so to speak, with the Green Bay team and Micah sitting over there, which I'm sure you'll get to later. But the whole point is that this is par for the course relative to today's NFL, relative to dealing with short hands. In terms of personnel, but good news is we got Clowney teed up and ready to go, and we've got some adjustments we can make. We think can give us a better pass rush out there that you'll see when we line up against Green Bay.
Jerry Jones joined us here at 105 to the Fan. All right, looking back on that play where CeeDee got hurt, I know it's hindsight, but was there any regret to running him out of the backfield? Are you okay with using him in that way moving forward?
Very much. There's no regret, no. That goes with it. That's been an effective play for us over the last few years, one that we will take advantage of when he gets back. But those injuries, that injury during the course of that ball game was he was exposed at the right time. We needed him and everything he could bring at that time in that ball game.
So, Jerry, in regards to the game itself, what went wrong against Chicago when you looked back at it?
You know, I thought as we went in at the half, and I'm going to not get into parts of the first half, but I thought as we went into half, we'd had the ball so much during that first half, our offense had, and it was a hot day. And I really thought that we had them in a spot to wear them down and really have our will the second half. And that made it even more frustrating because when they came out, we had a short possession, had a big play, big sack against us, and that we had to punt that ball. Well, then when they kept that ball that length of time, I thought that was one of the decisive points in the ball game, and that surprised me. I wouldn't have thought that, and they obviously knew they needed to keep that defense off the field there early in the third quarter, and they got it done.
Jerry, we've heard you talk about the Monday meetings that you guys have after games and some of the hard conversations that you guys have. When you sat down yesterday, what was the number one thing that you wanted answers about after the loss?
Well, answers, I think that's probably fair to say answers. What you want is what we're going to do about it. And there's not much argument as to what we didn't do well that resulted in the loss. There's not a lot of conversation about that other than how can we, this coming week and 3 days of practice, how can we basically address it personnel-wise, scheme-wise? And that's the nature of the conversation.
Jerry Jones joins us here at 105 through the Fan. It's three straight coordinators on the defensive side, 3 straight years. How much has that impacted the slow starts this year and last year on the defensive side?
Well, when you look at, you can easily point to that and say you've had some differences in your defense for 3 straight years. On the other hand, I haven't added it up, but there's a whole bunch of those defensive players that weren't there last year and the year before. So they're under this new defense, certainly because they've just gotten here, either straight from college or in most cases from other teams. And so, I get it when you make those changes conceptually in the defense. I get it when you say new coaches have to learn the players and develop the players as to they see what they're trying to execute, the coaches. Having said all of that, I think it plays a role, but it's not an excuse because you've got turnover all over this league in coaching and you've got turnover in players all over this league. And so you've got to factor that in. That's the life you've chosen. That's what we do. And by the way, if you're a coach, more so than any other explanation, you're prepared for a setback like this. You should be. You should know that there's a good chance one's coming. And so as coaches or as managers, this is no first time, or either you're very naive. In the NFL, and even as these teams are across the board, those differences that you saw out there Sunday can be corrected. On the other hand, you've got to know that here we're facing Green Bay. They'll look at what we didn't do well. They'll look at what we didn't have in the right spot personnel-wise, and they'll be ready to attack that Sunday. That's what makes this league so special and so great because everybody's playing with good players.
Jerry, y'all said right after the Micah deal that you could scheme up pressure, and that just really hasn't happened to this point. Has that been? Have you all not tried to be scheming it up? Have you tried and you just haven't executed? What's been the biggest issue there?
Well, we had a perfect storm. We had the play on the front didn't match what we were doing in the back. A zone defense is a safe defense. It should allow, played right, it should allow shorter games, but not big plays. And, of course, if you do a zone defense and you limit your rush by numbers, then that's the perfect storm against you. You've got to be able to stop the explosive plays. And when you don't have it, then you have to make adjustment. And we did that really, frankly, the first drive. We had some adjustment and put a little pressure on in there. But the answer is yes, yes, yes. We've got to have more pressure.
Jerry, are you expecting Deron Bland back this week to kind of help things in the secondary?
I don't want to get out over our skis here. It's a good possibility we'll have him.
Jerry Jones joining us here on 105 Through the Fan. Jerry, could some of the issues with the execution, particularly in the secondary, become so persistent that you guys begin to make changes to the lineup?
Well, that's the issue. We have depth, and we certainly have help on the way. You just named one of them, and we've got a couple of others that could really come off of our IR that more than likely would have been playing in these first 3 ball games. So we have personnel on the way by and through guys getting off the injury list. And that could be very, very helpful. However, what we were really short on out there, which was just not playing the schemes that we were using in the secondary to its fundamentals, not playing to the fundamentals of the scheme, is what really hurt us with those exceptional long plays that Chicago put on us.
Jerry, you told us last season and in previous years that you're never going to make a head coaching change in the middle of the season again. Is that a general rule you apply to the assistant coaches and coordinators as well?
Well, I don't. I think it'd be unfair to not to me, but to you to answer that way as though it's a policy. It is. It is not anything. It's just that I really like our coaching staff, and they're really outstanding teachers. They know what they're doing. It doesn't look that way now. Chicago had something to do with that, but I've got the real confidence that this staff that we've got, Flus, we know well. We've coached here for, I think, 7 years before he left to coach elsewhere. Having said that, that's not a discussion point, but other than to answer your question.
Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones with us here on 105 Through the Fan. Jerry, do you feel any extra competitive drive to win this week with Micah Parsons coming back?
Yes, I do. And I think that, of course, I have said this time and time again, I think the world of Micah. And as an individual, and, of course, know him well, and I might say I wish him well, except it's obvious I don't this weekend in terms of Green Bay winning the ball game. And so it makes for an exciting time, and I'm anxious to see if over the years when I saw Michael mitigated, when I saw teams playing pretty well, which he's going to make some plays no matter how you play him. But when I saw people play us well with Micah in the game, and it did happen, then obviously we'll be looking to try to run those kinds of plays.
After acquiring Kenny Clark in that trade, you spoke about how important it was for you guys to be able to stop the run. Did you guys, in those discussions about what to do with Micah, determine you just couldn't put together the kind of run defense you wanted to have with Micah on the field?
Well, we weren't about to give up in terms of stopping the run, and we not made the changes we made. But you're always looking to get better. And we should have looked to get better because stopping the run has been a consistent, no matter if we've been through the coordinators over the last few years that we have. We should have continually been working on ways because when we got to the playoffs, almost invariably, our vulnerability was being able to stop the run. Now, I really like our personnel that we have in the run game and that we have inside right now. And again, we have some help on the way with our linebackers. So, again, every team has some help on the way, but we certainly do. And so I look for us to play better because of the personnel.
Jerry Jones.
And yes, we do have as good a guys in the middle as we've had in a long time.
Jerry Jones, brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. I've been dying and waiting since California to ask you this question. I've waited for today because it has to do with a famous Jerry Jones line and statement and saying that, of course, is attributed to you. Don't let your money get mad. Jerry, do you think with the Micah deal that you let your money get mad and it just became a little bit too personal versus a football decision?
Absolutely not. Not at all. It was nothing personal. I told you I like Micah. And there was no issue regarding, as much as people wanted to make that of it, there was no issue regarding feelings relative to the negotiation. Certainly not on my part. It was just par for the course. And the facts are the negotiation was ongoing. Now, people made a lot of that we weren't talking. I had on the table the best I could do, period. And really, I wanted to see if by chumming it up out there that we could see what Micah might be worth in trade value. And that was the plan all the way through, quote, the negotiation. And so there's as a matter of fact, cool as a cucumber as far as feelings or as far as flaring.
Jerry, you've said that as great as Micah is, the 5 or 6 players you guys get by moving him was worth more to this team right now. Why did you decide other players in big money contract situations like CeeDee and Dak were more valuable than the potential 5 or 6 players?
Well, because at some point you look at where you're trying to go as a team and look with how you can afford to get there, which has to do with the cap. We decided 2 years ago that we wanted to go forward with Dak. Now, that was quite a challenge because the combination of what we'd been paying him plus what we ended up paying him really takes up, if you will, your currency. That's just what it is. Once we decided to do that, then obviously we wanted to maximize what we can do on offense, and there comes Lamb. And both of these guys were very, very indispensable as far as any type of plan that we had going forward. Micah, just as he was extremely attractive in terms of making a trade, Micah is also and was a very attractive player for us to go forward with on defense. We decided, after having done Dak, after having done Lamb, looking ahead at who we were going to want to do, which is very important here, looking around the corner and see if the players we've got who we're going to put in our top 6 or 7 salary-wise. We did all of that, and it came up the trade.
Looking back, doing it over again, would you have traded him earlier in the offseason?
No, not at all. Not at all. We needed this timing. We needed to be right here at the beginning of the season, in my mind, to get the highest value. I heard people talking about, well, why didn't you trade him back before the draft? Because draft picks become the most valuable timing-wise you can have them. In the off season before the draft, that's when the pick becomes much more valuable and the player becomes less valuable if you're trading a player for potential picks. So I knew the time to get the picks was while this season was available to whoever got Micah. Having said that, the timing was right when it should have been.
Jerry Jones right here on The Fan. A big topic that's developing, Jerry, is what is Jerry going to do with all that capital, all that draft capital? You going to go ahead and wait, or maybe try to, not a panic move, but a save the season move with these injuries and try to get win now help, I should say. So how you plan on weighing that, Jerry? Win now help with all the draft capital you have versus just waiting to use them after the year?
One thing that you do when you're I'm going to say running something or the ultimate decision maker is you wear that all the time. There's no time of the year when you're not thinking about these things. And that goes that way in many things that I'm involved in. So from a timing standpoint, it would surprise me if I ever have something pop up that hadn't in some manner crossed my mind significantly, taking a shower, meditating at whatever time in my life. You wear it and you think about it all the time. Now, I decided to come and spend my life in sport. So when I bought the team, I didn't make an investment. I bought a job. Because if I were going to wear something around with me all my life, 24 hours a day, in between everything, I wanted it to be sport. And that's why I'm here. So to answer your question, that's constantly with me and with mine, with our organization. That's constantly with me on the hunt for Red October is the best way to use these picks.
Jerry, last one for you. Do you expect Clowney to make his debut Sunday night, and do you think his legal issue will cause any holdup with you guys?
Well, first of all, I'll answer the last part of the question. Absolutely not. None at all. I'm very familiar with the detail of the matter. It's not serious in any way. And so it's not an influence here at all. And yes, I do expect him to make his debut, and I do expect him to give us the benefit of the things that he does the best, which, guess what? You spell it with a P. It's called pressure. But he also can defend the run.
Jerry Jones, before the big one on Sunday night, in a fantastic mood. Thank you so much for addressing all the questions, as you always do, and we'll talk to you next week. Good luck against Green Bay.
You bet, guys, and this is a big one for us out here, big for everybody. I'm excited about it.
Yes, sir.
What you live for.
Have a great day.